You know what's so interesting with all the talk of the dangers of AI and tech developments and how it's affecting the music industry, we've just had an entire rap beef take place with AI being used to troll so magnificently. Well, magnificent in the sense, in the trolly petty way. So we're seeing this rap battle, beef, or whatever you want to call it, between Drake, J. Cole, and others bought into it, but mainly sort of targeted at Kendrick Lamar, who's now come back with, I would say, a supreme response, a supreme diss, articulate. So I would say artfully executed, in my opinion. So many Drake fans on Twitter saying the opposite, saying, nah, it's just not cutting it. I feel like people need a palate cleanser. Like, you need to appreciate an artful production, something that's not so obvious. Why is it that something with an obvious beat, an obvious lyrics, an obvious aggression gets the vote? No, no, but there's still so many who are appreciating the artful way that Kendrick Lamar has gone about to respond. And we were waiting for a while. And so during that wait, you had plenty of time for people to come out with their AI generated, not just responses, but just to kind of fill the gap. This is how AI has been used. And so now we're entering into this arena where, okay, gone is the debate about whether or not you should be using auto tune. You've already had AI rappers being generated. When was this? This was just a little while ago, maybe a couple of years ago. Was it something Mecca? An AI rapper, okay, that was created. And now we have people using AI to put a Motown disc together, which has been quite funny. It's been quite entertaining. So, this is the light side, the lighter side of AI and how it can be used for entertainment. But gosh, the dark side is still there because, can you trust who's created it? Where has it come from? And if it's convincing, then are you likely to believe it? But we know these things are a slippery slope. And I wanted to cover it only because um, from a creativity perspective, it's enormously illuminating to see how AI is now embraced by audiences. We have this piece from the Washington Post, and it's written actually in 2023. Will AI inspire hip hop artists or displace them? So I thought it was interesting, insightful. Let's look at it. Hip hop history is a history of technological innovation, but artificial intelligence could prove disruptive. In April, this is 2023, a hot new track began circulating online, first appearing on streaming services including Spotify and Apple Music, and then shared widely on social media platforms. The song Heart on My Sleeve was a fresh collaboration between pop royalty, rapper Drake, and singer The Weeknd, with beats by esteemed producer Metro Boomin, or so it seemed. Actually, the song released by a TikToker named Ghostwriter977 had been created using artificial intelligence. Within days of the revelation, Universal Music Group had successfully invoked copyright protections and had the song removed from all streaming platforms. This isn't the first time AI has rocked the world of hip hop. In 2022, FN Mecca, that's the name, an AI artist with 10 million followers on TikTok and more than a billion views, became the world's first augmented reality star to sign with a major label, Capitol Records. But then Kyle the Hooligan, the black artist whose lyricism and likeness inspired FN Mecca, revealed that he had not been paid for his contributions. News spread that nearly all of those profiting off the AI artist were not black and were barely affiliated with hip hop culture and music at all. The record label promptly dropped FN Mecca. The introduction of AI into the production of hip hop music has generated questions about how, not if, industry leaders and cultural outsiders will use this technology to generate content and profit without paying rappers, songwriters, musicians, producers, and engineers. These concerns are grounded in the history of hip hop, which is rife with examples of exploitation and appropriation. Yet, this history also frequently reveals how artists have harnessed new technology to retain control and expand access to their art, ensuring hip hop music remains democratic in its creation, earnings, and enjoyment. Today's artists can look to this history for inspiration as they decide whether AI will serve the tradition or break with it. Some of the earliest hip hop virtuosos were DJs who manipulated the audio equipment at their disposal to entertain their communities. At a time when a small group of conventional radio music programmers and mostly white nightclub managers dictated New York City music trends, Black and Latino youths from poor and working class neighborhoods in the Bronx used common living room stereo equipment, turntable speakers, and receivers to serve up crowd favorites and introduce new thrilling ways to experience music. And the article goes on. I will link it so you can have a read yourself. But let's go to a closing. Hip hop history can be viewed as a history of technological innovation. Creative uses of technology have helped advance the art form and given young talents the power to shape the industry. The question now, however, is whether the latest artificial intelligence technology will present new opportunities as well as new risks. Hip hop artists are already employing AI tools for inspiration, just as they have done with new technology in the past. AI is also creating new avenues for hip hop production, allowing broader access to the craft, just as sequencers, samplers, and software have done for artists since the 1980s. When asked if he has concerns about the technology, Grammy award winning music producer Salam Remy said there's going to be something that AI won't be able to do, but also I can use the AI to do stuff I don't want to do. Still, compared with the new technological innovations of the past, AI may prove a more unwieldy challenge to creators as they seek to retain control over their work. As A Tribe Called Quest's Q-Tip rapped, industry rule 4080 record company people are shady. Seeking profit without crediting artists and innovators would not be unprecedented. Some hip hop artists, probably with the help of powerful corporate entities like Universal Music Group, may find ways to ride the AI wave and remain beneficiaries of their own innovations. But it's also possible that this may be a watershed moment when new technology, by allowing the dissemination of forgeries, works to separate artists from their art, thereby making the music less democratic, not more. That was written by A.D. Carson, an assistant professor of hip hop and the Global South in the Department of Music at the University of Virginia, and Felicia Vieta is associate professor of history at San Francisco State University, a curator for the Grammy Museum, and author of To Live and Defy in LA. And in the past 24 hours, the New York Times publishes in the battle of Drake versus Kendrick Lamar, AI is playing spoiler. A rap beef between hip hop's two dominant stars has left fans wondering whether new tracks are real or fakes. And for the past month, an all out brawl has consumed hip hop, with some of the genre's top artists trading barbs in rapidly released tracks. The dispute, which began in late March with a perceived dig at Drake by Future and Metro Boomin, has roped in J. Cole, Rick Ross, and even the estate of Tupac Shakur. At issue, who is the current holder of hip hop's crown, Drake or Kendrick Lamar? With a whole lot of rumors, personal attacks, and inside jokes adding fuel to the fire. Rap battles aren't new, but this time fans are grappling with a very 2024 question. Which of the diss songs are real? A quote: I don't think any of us want to live in a world where you can just create unauthorized representations of people without their permission, said Alex J. Mitchell, the chief executive of Boomy, a generative AI music startup. The article also says, in many ways, a rap beef is fertile ground for AI impersonation. The songs are usually not released through a rapper's record label. They often appear online in early or unfinished forms, and they generally prize insults and barbs over songcraft. No one expects a sterling Drake hook and polished production on a track churned out quickly. Noah Callahan Bever, a veteran hip hop journalist and the chief content officer of Complex, said leaks force his team to spend an inordinate amount of time going down rabbit holes to find the truth. And it's tough because we're going head to head, he says, with, hip hop Instagram news pages who do not feel the ethical imperative to apply that journalistic rigor. And then on Tuesday, Lamar reignited the back and forth, adding the 6-plus minute euphoria to his YouTube page with no notice. The placement seemed to assure listeners that it was official, and Lamar made his feelings about the technological spectre looming over the beef clear. After saying that Drake's invitation would make Tupac roll over in his grave, he rapped, "Am I battling ghosts or AI?" And in Dazed, we had a Why Is It So Hard to Care About the Rap Beef of the Decade piece. And it's quite an interesting takeaway, I think, for us to close this with, and that is, for all its visibility, the stakes are surprisingly low in rap's World War III. It seems to have lost all the elements that made rap beef so compelling to begin with. So far, the most interesting thing to come out of the Drake versus everyone beef is its dystopian implications for AI. And for more information, this piece from the npr.org outlines exactly how AI works with the music industry. And so the question, what exactly does generative AI do and how has it intersected with music so far, answers talk of generative AI can easily slip into dystopian territory, and it's no wonder. For more than half a century, we've been watching artificial intelligence take over and wipe out any human standing in its way in sci-fi epics like 2001, The Space Odyssey, The Matrix, and the Terminator franchise. The reality is a little more pedestrian. The machine learning models with us now are taking on tasks that we're accustomed to seeing performed by humans. They aren't actually autonomous or creative for that matter. Their developers input vast quantities of human made intellectual and artistic output: books, articles, photos, graphic designs, musical compositions, audio, and video recordings, so that the AI models can taxonomize all of that existing material, then recognize and replicate its patterns. AI is already being put to use by music makers in plenty of ways, many of them generally viewed as benign to neutral. The Living Beatles employed it to salvage John Lennon's vocals from a muddy, lo-fi 1970s recording so that they could add their own parts and complete the song now and then. The spectre of AI generated music has grown more ominous, however, as the attempts have landed nearer their sound like targets, especially when it comes to the mimicry or cloning of famous voices. Deepfake technology got a boost in visibility after someone posted audio on YouTube that sounded very nearly like Jay-Z, down to his smooth, imperious flow, reciting Shakespeare, ditto when the brooding, petulant banger Heart on My Sleeve surfaced on TikTok, sounding like a collab between Drake and The Weeknd, though it was quickly confirmed that neither was involved. Things got real enough that the record labels behind all three of those stars demanded the stuff be taken down. In an ironic twist, Drake recently dropped his own AI stunt, harnessing the deepfake voices of Tupac and Snoop Dogg for a diss track in his ongoing feud with Kendrick Lamar. And no doubt the drama slash beef will continue. Who's next? Who's going to be coming with a new artistic distraction for us? AI definitely makes it a little bit spicy. I want to know what you think. Thanks for coming back to this channel, Life Vocabulary, where I do explore creativity, the process, and more. See you in the next one.